And good morning and welcome to Touchbase Daily. And my name is Ron Foster. And I am back. I am back. I am now really back. Had a glitch in this season starting, but I am back and I am so excited to be here with you all. And yes, it's been a tumultuous 6 weeks, but I am back and I am excited to be with you all. I miss every one of you. First person in the building is Hannah. She says, good morning, Ron and Touchbase Daily family. Welcome back. Ron, I will be in and out today as it's my birthday. And I've started early celebrating with friends. Hannah, happy birthday. I won't sing it, but I'll just give it a little bit. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Okay, that's it. Love you, Hannah. And next in the building is Mimi Hinton. She says, greeting, Ron and RLP crew. Ron, happy birthday week. I love you, man. Happy birthday, Hannah. Yes, the birthdays. This is February. Well, it was February, but now February's gone. But it's Pisces season. It's Pisces season. And who else is here? We'll pop back in when you go live. I am alive. I'm live here. Chris is in the building. She says, good morning. Chris is in the building. And we got the wonderful Lisa. She says, morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. What happened to my background? I had my little background going on, and somehow this thing kind of like got rid of my background. Maybe, I don't know what's happening here. Is it like, let me see. Is my background still there? I guess it only comes up when I do doubles. Okay. Gwendolyn's in the building. She says, good morning also. Elise is in the building. That's an invitation to you, Elise, just in case you wanted to pop on. Good morning, everyone, she says. Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, hi, everyone. Should be great combo today. Happy birthday, Hannah. And Dr. Tachi's in the building as well. Hey, y'all, she says. And also, Indie Soup is now in session, I do believe. Indie Soup is now broadcasting all new seasons of all new shows. And let's see who else is there. Amparo. Yes, man. Miss Amparo. She says, Grand Rising. It's so good to see you, Amparo. Missed you. And the wonderful Bryson is in the building. He says, what's up, Ron? Welcome back. What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Welcome to March. It's Women's History Month. I'll know the Oscars was Sunday night. Yes, the Oscars was Sunday night. I mean, how many of you guys observed or looked at the Oscars? I looked at the Oscars, and I had to say I enjoyed it. I don't usually look at the Oscars, and when I do, I don't usually enjoy it. So it was a plus for the Oscars this past weekend. Dr. Tachi says, yep, we are back. That's what Dr. Tachi says. Indie Soup is back. You can catch Miss G on there and a bunch of us. And my repeats of this show is on the Indie Soup. And so we are everywhere and we are supporting one another. And that's what we do in the online community. So today is Water Cooler Talk Wednesday. So it's kind of like a free-for-all conversation. Even I will steer it a little bit because there's so much that's in the news. So much has gone on. So much has been happening. So much to talk about. And my first question is, how many of you watched the S show? It wasn't even the State of the Union. It was some kind of, I don't even know why they even aired it. It wasn't the State of the Union. So I don't even know why it got the coverage that it got. And why they act like it was the State of the Union. Anyway, how many of you guys watched that? How many of you guys watched that fiasco of lies? It was horrible. I did not see it, did not look at it. However, I did look at the clips. You know me, had to look at the clips from all my favorite people that are paid to watch it. Because that's the only way I would watch something like that. I would have to be paid a lot of money to watch what they saw last night. I see here, G says, not this one. Kimmy says, bits and pieces. Chris says, not me. And Dr. Taji says, I refuse to give ratings. I watched The State of the People on YouTube with Angela Ray and more. Wasn't that awesome yesterday? For those that missed it, you missed a treat. It was 24 hours of segmented YouTube online shares, educating. It was so educational. Everyone came with different perspectives. Keith was there. Birkin, Blinken. Am I saying it right? Keith Blinken, and all of these. You had Joy Reid was there. The list went on. There was so many people. From the women's movement, from the men's movement, from the NAACP. There were people there from also the Congress, with people from women from the Congress, men from the Congress. And it was a smorgasbord of information and highlighting information that we needed to hear. So if you missed it, I'm not sure if they recorded it, but it was 24 hours. And it was worth every moment of it. I got to see it in segments. I saw it late, or I should say early in the morning on yesterday, which is like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I went to bed. Then after that, I think Joy Reid started it off. And then you had all the others came in, and it was incredible. It's masterful, masterful. Bryson said it was saved. How's it going, Gwendolyn? She'll be able to answer that question in a moment. I'm doing well, Bri. She says, okay, let me bring up my wonderful co-host onto the show. Here we go. There we go. There's my bubbles.
I told you they would come back. You're in single mode unless you change some things. You can't get your background.
But yes, I see. There's my little bubbles. See my little new background? I just said bokeh. For the photographers, we like bokeh. Some of us. So what's going on, Elise? What's going on, Gwendolyn?
You want to start, Miss Elise?
Good morning. Look, I'm on my phone today because my laptop did whatever. So
go ahead.
I've never done it on the big computer, so I said it may not even let me in. So I'm not even gonna try.
You look good though. You look good there. You look good. I see you, Elise. So, all that matters is that you are here and you are sharing truth as you always do.
Look, things are going fine. That's just like, they had the circus yesterday, and I guess they brought in all the clowns.
They brought in all the clowns.
I didn't watch it. I was like, I'm not watching
all the clowns. They certainly did.
And I definitely did not watch that. I was like, it's not, no, because we knew it wasn't going to be about the State of the Union, really.
Yes, it wasn't. It was a clown show.
Yes, it's going to be the same old, blaming everybody except for himself.
However, I will share. There is a clip I wanted to share with you guys from Brian, because I love my Brian Tyler Cohen. He always knows how to sum it all up so that we don't have to watch. And so, just in case you want to get some information, but anyway, before we go to Brian, Gwendolyn, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling really good. We talk about doing things that matter to you. So, I'm always out and about in my community. I am now a reading partner for Fort Worth ISD. I am meeting my kid today.
Nice.
I can go back to school, read some books, do some things to, help my community. So that's where I am. I am keeping myself grounded in joy. I'm aware, but it doesn't stop this show. So
there you go. I like that. That's nice. How did you find them? How did you get into the program?
I am always looking for other ways to give back, right? Like if you want something, you can go out and find it. So I thought to myself, okay, well, two things. One, I am working on my speaking again, because I'm always looking to upgrade my skills. Mm-hmm. This guy was like, well, the best way to do that is to read children's books, because it helps you get into different voices, variation, characters, archetypes. So I was like, I need to find me a kid that's not one of my kids, because they all down south and whatnot. And so, passed the background check because I'm a little off the cuff, but I'm good enough to be around children. And so I got approved.
Yeah, you are
I got
off the
approved.
cuff.
Yeah. If you want to be I will say engaged. I'm looking for the right word. Engaged in your community, then there are literally a number of ways to do it. And I was chat with my dear friend Aisla, as you know, Ron, yesterday about all the foolishness going on out here. And I thought, what's going to save us is community, getting back to our roots of being grounded with each other. Again, my babies are in Houston and Atlanta, but I can help someone else's baby while I'm here in Arlington. And that is what I am going to do.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, that's great.
Oh, that is really good. I like it. There's nothing like teaching people. It's nothing like interceding for people, connecting with people, leading people to something wonderful. Because that one individual can become president. That one person could change the world. That one person, you don't know who you are engaging with and what your words mean to them. And you got a lot of words to share.
And education is where they're coming for all of us.
Education,
right?
yes.
So, you let something else go down, then we'll just start doing, Sunday, Saturday classes. Who knows? There's so many options, but they can't stop you unless you let them stop you. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. They can't control what you learn unless you allow them to control it.
Wow. I like it. So, anyway, let's go to Brian Cohen. Let's go. Let's see what's going on there. Let's share a little bit of that because I think he does a good rundown and I think it's worth sharing. And then we'll talk about it on the other side of it. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Oops. I've been out of the game for a while. I forgot how to do this. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I was like, wait a minute. I just missed my extra little button there. Okay, there we go. And here we go. Yummy. Okay.
2 hours in this presidential address to a joint session of Congress. Here are some of the moments that you won't want to miss.
Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh.
A little disturbance is an understatement. Take a look at the stock market over the last 2 days, tumbling 1,300 points. Why? Because Donald Trump's economic policies are a disaster. He's launched trade wars with our allies and biggest trading partners. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are no winners in a trade war. Donald Trump knows that better than anyone, considering his first term's trade war hurt Americans as well, including farmers. And yet he wants to be able to beat his chest and seem tough and pretend that somehow tariffs hurt foreign countries when they don't. They are a tax on Americans. Remember, too, Trump came into office on the pretense that he would lower prices on day one.
We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast. Not only with insurance, with everything. Tomorrow, I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. Slash your prices. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end inflation very quickly. End inflation. Slash your prices. We will cut your taxes. End inflation. Slash your prices. So we're going to get your prices down.
And instead of prices going down, the price on virtually everything has gone up. The cost of raw goods, building supplies, electronics, food, and yes, even eggs, which are far more expensive than when Donald Trump took office. And yet that didn't stop Trump from saying this at tonight's address.
Cuts to Medicaid will threaten access to care for our most vulnerable.
Sorry about that. It's always a little commercial kind of thing. Okay.
Looking for the extraordinary?
More commercial.
We've got it. At Floor & Decor, we don't believe in having to choose between budget and style.
There you go.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price
He is so
out of
stupid. It's just
control.
beyond belief.
And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
I'm not sure if Trump knows this, but he's the president, not Joe Biden. Dude took office in January. It is March, and yet he's still pointing at the last guy. Perhaps one day Donald Trump will take responsibility for his own actions, but that day isn't today. Trump then said this.
It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Ah, yes. Thank God somebody is getting rid of the unelected bureaucrats, Trump says, as Elon Musk looks over from the gallery. This is a guy who has deputized Elon Musk to effectively run the government in his stead, and yet he's either too shameless or too ignorant to recognize that he, too, is an unelected bureaucrat. And I know that Republicans are going to say, yeah, but, he's not a bureaucrat. He's eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Right. He's eliminating all of these programs and just so happens to see that money get funneled into his own companies. Just days ago, a contract that had already been awarded to Verizon was canceled and instead allocated to Elon Musk's Starlink. Even Trump's allies are conceding that this moment fell flat. Here's Dave Portnoy writing in response to this moment, gotta admit this one didn't quite land since Elon is basically co-president. When Dave Portnoy is calling you out in real time, you might have lost the plot. And then there was this moment.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security. And we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
That's insanity.
I have to pause there because this is just too much to take in. And it goes on and on. And Brian does a great job in sharing the whole thing and just kind of breaks it down. But the Canadian, I haven't been here for a bit, so the insanity of it all is it's the insanity, and we are now in a tariff war with our friends.
Yeah.
And
with our friends, Canada, we do more trading. Our number one trading partners is Canada and Mexico. Mexico being the number one. And we are in a war, tariff war. And folks don't understand history. Again, there was a meme video going on about like the one that says like Bueller, and it's talking about the tariffs and giving the lessons on tariffs. Is that people don't realize also, if you go back to remember the 1929 crash, right? What was also going on during that time? Tariffs.
Yeah, the tariffs started. Yeah.
And tariffs have never worked. Never worked. And I keep pointing back to everyone. If you want to know where we are, you want a glimpse of where we are, go back to the history books of 1929, 30, 31, 32, 33. That's all you need to. And if you look at those years, you will say, wow. It's the same playbook.
It didn't help in his last term.
It didn't help him last time. He had to reimburse the farmers.
Yeah. And China has already said, okay, so we're gonna cancel all the orders from these American farmers. That's a lot of money for these farmers.
A lot of money.
They're not sitting by. Canada at this point seems like they're going hard or going home. They're like,
that's what they're
not selling
going
the liquor,
hard
American
or
liquor.
going home.
They're not selling American liquor in the stores. They're going to increase the cost of power coming from their country to America to those states. First, the man was like, we're going to put them in the dark. Then he said, no, we're going to increase your prices. Now, that's not where you want to be. And people who supported this stuff, that's not what you wanted. That's not what you thought you were going to get. That's not what he thought was going to happen either. You got to realize he can't bully these people. They're like, we're not going to be bullied. We're not
Yeah.
we're gonna stand 10 toes down. We don't care about, right wingers in Canada, one or two of them up there saying some crazy stuff, but they're not the majority, and they're not in charge of anything. You're not in charge of anything. And
And
I
then
think, yeah.
and on Friday night, I think it was Friday night or Saturday, it was they had the hockey game, and the Americans began to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and the whole stadium was booing.
Booed him.
Yeah.
Canada's
Our
tired.
friends, our closest partner in the world is Canada.
Well, the Canadians said this is trash. We're not going to go along with this. Right now, they're supporting their politicians, and all of them must be. Even the one that's kind of conservative. That's the one that's the premier that said about the power. Yeah, it's like,
in
you want
Ontario,
to play,
Ontario.
and all your car prices are going to go up because you're getting that from Mexico. You get stuff from Canada. All of those things play into the industry. Your food, everything is going to go up.
Well, the gentleman that was on yesterday on one of the feeds, he was talking about how he was in deals to sell a car dealer, to a person for $80,000.
Right.
However, the tariffs came into play because the guy obviously didn't buy it when he presented the $80,000, but then he had to call the gentleman up and say it is now $100,000. $20,000 more. This is the only reason why I bought my phone. I said I gotta buy my phone because before the tariffs come, because now guess what? Everything is going to be 25% higher.
Look, I did the same thing. I told we needed to replace our refrigerator, and I told my husband before back in December, I think I said, let's get the refrigerator now. I said, because when the craziness comes and they talk about tariffs, our appliances, which went up the last time he was in office, are gonna go up. So your refrigerators, your microwaves, your washers and dryers, all that stuff is gonna increase just like it did the last time he was in it. I think we got to stop having short memories. I don't know why our memory is so short. My memory is not short at all. I remember those things, so I act accordingly. So if you didn't buy your stuff by last week, you're not. And as I shared with people last week in that video, if you haven't checked your Social Security stuff, check that stuff. Check everything. Get your taxes done. Get everything done. Tie all of the loose ends done. Because the ridiculousness that's coming, and I did hear something where he was like thinking about walking some of the tariff stuff back. And if he does, it'll be because he's being lambasted by some of the rich people.
Yes.
It won't be because he cares about people.
Wall Street is not happy.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Wall Street is not happy. They had the write up in the Wall Street Journal. People are not happy. And so I would suggest, and if you can go to the store today and get the things you need before all the price, they said by next week you will see the price changes. In some of them, Target said you will probably see it by Friday.
Yeah,
all the markups.
Target get a lot of produce from Mexico. I'm no longer shopping at Target.
I don't shop there, but they did. Yeah.
But I'm sure it would go up in my regular grocery store too.
Regular grocery store.
I'm not gonna. I don't go to Target, so I don't care about Target right now. And I think people need to understand. I had to explain. I was trying to explain this to somebody that the parts around the quote unquote boycotts. It really is about unity. Can we come together, be on the same page at the same time, and have an impact? The most impact we can make is with money. So I told my husband this morning they're supposed to do the Amazon boycott for 7 days.
Amazon starts on the 7th.
But my thing is, I haven't bought anything from them in a while because I started looking at where can I get books from. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay the price, the higher price, the part that's on the jacket. Where can I get books from that are locally, so I can support the Black book businesses? What stores can I get what I need? Because what we've gotten is lazy.
Yep.
We're lazy. We don't want to be inconvenienced. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And it's just like we talk about kids. We want things quick. So do adults.
That's
so you order from Amazon, I can get it tonight or tomorrow. So that's why we do it, because we're lazy. You can also get it today if you go out and buy it.
Yeah,
but we're lazy and we
Gwendolyn
want things to
Gwendolyn and I've have this conversation many times.
Right, but that's what we are. We become lazy, and so we got to stop being lazy. We got to start understanding that we have the the ability to make change. We have the ability to impact all of this. And it's up to us. And we got to come together to do that.
Yes.
We
And
were talking. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
I'll say, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes if you can. That generates that you're enjoying what we're talking about, and then it sends out a signal algorithms to other people to join in the conversation. So make sure you hit the likes, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. I see Lainey Lane is in the building. How you doing, Lainey Lane? I see you, and then we're gonna go through some of these comments in a little bit. But go ahead, Gwendolyn.
Well, you and I were talking about how people need to, and I don't, golly, it's really wonky to say, but I'm going to say it. So I believe that, the American dream, it's about consumerism, it's about living in a silo. And people think that if it doesn't impact me directly, it's not impacting me. If it hurts one, it hurts all of us, right? I was speaking with my dear friend Aisla about gender affirming care. And people often say, oh, it's about trans people. You forget cosmetic surgery is gender affirming care. Hormone replacement therapy is gender affirming care, right? It impacts more than just trans people. Trust me, if they come for one, they're coming for all. And the American idea of living is to be on this island. And it's about me, 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 and take from everybody. It's not sustainable. It doesn't work. If we think about how our parents lived, now I don't know how old some of y'all are. I know how old this panel is, though, so I know y'all know. We got to get back to how we lived. It's about a village. It's a village. It's community. If I needed a cup of sugar, if I needed 2 eggs, I know they doing Lucy's up there in New York City. If I need a couple of eggs, we could go next door. We didn't have this thing about don't talk to my kid. We looked out for everybody's child.
Yeah.
The mindset. Somebody somewhere adopted this mindset of let me be like XYZ. And it's not a way to live. I mean, call it what you want. You can do whatever you want to do. It's not sustainable. It's why you feel lonely. It's why a number of people out here are lonely. It's just not, the human experience needs good humans. We need it.
Mm-hmm.
How we live, how we shop, how we play, how we interact with each other, how we engage. It requires good humans. We are at a place where everything is shifting, and you have to decide, how do I want to go about it? There's so much going on. So many places where civil rights are being stripped from somebody else. Trust me, they're coming for you next. It's part of the playbook. It's part of the playbook. They're coming for you next.
It's true. I had that similar conversation with my daughter. She lives down in Austin. And she was saying that, she said, I looked at everything that's happening. She said, no, it's not all impacting me. She said, but it's impacting people. Yeah. She said, so that's why I do what I do, is because of everyone. She said, I could easily say, hey, I don't have to pay attention to this. She said, but yeah, we have to all pay attention to it because it impacts us one way or the other. If it impacts people around us, it impacts us. And that's what, and that's her, she and I had that conversation. I was glad to hear that from her. Because you never know what the younger generations are thinking. But my children, fortunately, have been brought up around empathy and compassion. So they do understand that they have to make sure that they're not successful if everybody else is not successful.
I agree. I said there yesterday, I went to, speaking of eggs, I saw that some people in the comments talking about eggs. I went to Trader Joe's yesterday, and it was one per person, and it was $5 for that one thing of eggs, and which was cheap compared to a lot of places. If you go to the one here in my neighborhood, it's like $10, but it was $4.99. I took my cart and ran out the store
with your eggs.
I'll be back tomorrow for number 2 for my one limit. I'll come back every day to get my limits.
You could get some chickens, according to that chick who go over agriculture. Just get some chickens.
Yeah.
Get your own eggs.
She said, everybody should have some chickens.
Where we go?
Everybody should have some chickens in their backyard.
I can't with these people. I can't.
Then they gonna really understand what they put chickens through to get those eggs.
Yes, right.
Those eggs aren't, you may get a couple of eggs a week. You're not out there getting 25 eggs every week. How many chickens do you have to have? How many chickens does it take to have that many eggs?
Bryson brought something up, and I wanted to. Did y'all see this? And see, I don't understand how Disney's been getting away with this.
Yeah.
Like, we have been going after Target, Amazon, a bunch of folks, but we need to go after Disney.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Disney announced a couple of weeks ago that they're getting rid of their DEI program. Right? So they said they're getting rid of it. And then you have this. So Disney Animation will no longer be doing series from Disney Plus. Everybody just heard that Tiana series is going to be in production. It got canceled.
Yep, I saw that.
Got canceled. I think was it yesterday or day before yesterday?
I saw it yesterday. I don't know when they officially.
I saw it yesterday. Yep, canceled. And I think we should be boycotting Disney. I got rid of Disney. I was like, I'm done. Got rid of it.
Yeah, and that's getting rid of Disney, the Disney Channel, right?
Yep, Disney
But
Channel.
we got to think about
everything.
Disney itself, because we all want to go have fun and be at the park. I haven't been to a Disney park since my kids were really small. And look, and that only reason I was there then was because I had a niece that was working there, so we could get the pass, the hopper passes every day, and have cheap hotels and go into the parks for free. That's the only reason. Ever since then, I haven't been back. But we do have to look at everything, on how they're doing it. It's one thing to say, we're going to get rid of DEI, like whatever they're saying, and the diversity and inclusion as a title. It's one thing to do that, but when you start specifically picking things, like Tiana because it's Black, and then it has to be, and the conversation I shared with Ronna, with my family has a WhatsApp chat, and one was talking crazy. But you're going to end up talking about, oh, well, Blacks and DEI, we don't really need it. You don't understand. It's synonymous with us at the moment. That's what they're using it for. But his focus was he was being distracted by LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah,
there's Black people in that too. It has nothing. All they can do is distract you on one thing, and that's what you go on. So with Disney, most people have kind of, because of they like Disney, they've ignored it, and I think it needs to be held to task, just like you hold everyone else to task. You need to stop overlooking things. It's just like I always say, we talk about how people trash Florida, but all of these Black organizations have events down in Florida. There are other states in Florida that they can do it in. Take it someplace else. Stop having everything in Florida. And so they don't understand anything unless it hits wallets. They don't understand anything because right now we're in a capitalist society. And until you start understanding that and how to impact in a capitalist society, you have to impact what? Capital. Which is cash.
Cash is king, as they always say. Cash is king. And but you know what? I know there's some people saying to get rid of Disney is very hard because Disney is a big form of entertainment. However, there are a lot of Black animation and Hispanic animation, and there's a lot going on with big Pixar. I'm not sure they're connected to Disney any longer, or a piece of it is connected. But there are other animations out there that are just as good. And you have some animations on Hulu. Well, that's Disney now too, so they'll get rid of that. So, I mean, Disney has its tentacles in a lot of places. So.
They have them on Netflix.
I don't know
who on that one.
Yeah, I know. Well, Netflix is Netflix right now.
Right.
Netflix is Netflix. And but yeah, I mean, anytime someone tells me they're getting rid of DEI, I immediately put them on a list. I'm done. Yeah. Because to me, you're not thinking about people. Right. And why would you not want equity? Why would you not want inclusiveness? Why would you not want those things? Diversity. That is what they've done studies. The most progressive, the companies that are doing the best in America, all around the world, the more diverse that company is, the better that company performs.
And Disney kind of survived, goes under the radar, not because it's so big, because people don't challenge them.
Yeah.
Don't challenge them.
There hasn't been, you kind of got off the track because you concentrated on Target, Walmart, Amazon. So Disney has been able to slip under the radar. So then now that it's bubbling to the surface, people, you keep mentioning it and start doing things, then that's how you put pressure on Disney. That's the only way you can do it. And until you do that, it won't change. Nothing changes. As they say, nothing changes if nothing changes.
And nothing changes.
Well, the question is at hand. I see that I'm going to bring up the graph so that way you'll have it. So that way, what is this? Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to get this up for Lisa. And Yahoo Finance is where I like to go to for my information when it comes to finance. And really good. They got a really good system of information. And so Target, we can just look that up for you guys. Since we are a community and we're just looking at this together on Target. And I'll bring up and you'll see exactly how much they lost. Here we go. Okay. So this is what I do when I'm hanging out by myself, but I'm going to just let you know how I do my stock searches and all that stuff, because I remember I used to be on Wall Street back in my back life. But here we go. I'm going to show you guys something so that way you can kind of get a little lesson in looking how companies are doing as we are boycotting. This is going to help you. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do a little quickie here, a little quick lesson. So I use Yahoo Finance. One is free, it's easy, and they have great tools. So this is why I use Yahoo. So you'll see here, this is Target Corporation. So you want to know how a company's doing based on obviously these boycotts, right? So we can look at this by day, like you see. I have here the ID, and can I get that up bigger? So you see right there it says ID, or I should say 1D, 5D, 1 month, 6 months, year to date, 1 year, 5 year. So you can look at this graph according to the range you want to see it. So for instance, we know that the boycott has been pretty much a month. It started on February 1st. We're now into March, just after March 1st. So you can see here's the 1 month. So 1 month ago, their stock was at 134. Or I should say the high was 137. It had been as high. Sorry, my bad. It has been as high as, I do believe it was 140. Hold on a second. Okay, 137. So 137 was the high, right? So that was the high. But look at where the stock is done, how the stock is done ever since. You see where the stock is now? Obviously, because the market is down too, but they're at $115 a share. They lost a whole lot of shares. They've lost 20, almost $20 a share.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money being lost because so many people are not shopping at Target. Even though it's over. Oh, thank you, Lisa, for the super sticker. For those that I know, we have a super stickers now. You can kind of like throw money at me if you want to. I can be a dancer.
Without the pole.
Without the pole. You can throw money at me. But yeah, so you can kind of like get a glimpse of where, I say go to Yahoo Finance. And if you want to see what other companies, for instance, is this happening to Amazon? So I pretty much know these codes by heart because I'm that geek. So I know these. So this is Amazon. So you can see that Amazon is up today, but that's 1 day. But what has Amazon been doing over the month? There we go. Look at that. People, it is impacting these companies. The more we join together as a countrymen of people and as countrywomen, countrymen, and we decide not to shop at these places, it does have an impact. And I was looking at Bill Maher yesterday, this Friday, and he pisses me off every week. So I don't know why I look at him any longer, because he's kind of like seeming to side along with the Trump people, and he's anyway. I don't want to go.
He's
That's
been doing that
sidebar.
for a long time.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it's been really bad lately. So,
I don't watch
but
that.
and they were like they almost like scoffed at the idea that people were protesting and boycotting these companies, like as if it doesn't matter. It does matter. Look at this. Look at Amazon. Here we want to do 1 month ago. 1 month ago, Amazon's stock price was as high as $239 a share. It is now today $200 a share, $204. That is a loss. Look at that loss. You went from 239
Right.
to 204.
He lost like $37.
$37 a share is a lot of money.
Wow.
And you have to, and here's another trick of the trade. I don't want to go into all these earnings, and you're looking at the ratio, the pie ratio, you're looking at the volume, and you look at the volume. If you take that volume, this volume is the number of shares being traded today. So that's 12 million shares being traded today. You take that 12 million and times it by 204. That's a lot of shares. That's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So you look at the volume. Look at that volume. That's the volume. That's how much. That's how much stock is being bought and sold up to now today.
Right.
May
Okay?
I add something, Ron?
Yes.
So what sticks out to me are the people, be they who have a larger platform or those who don't, who say, what's the point? It's not going to make a difference. There is nothing more telling than someone telling you not to use your power. Money talks. You not going places talk. You saying something obviously is talking. So I always look at when people say, oh, what's the point? It's not going to do anything. Check those people. Be careful of those people. There's nothing worse than someone telling you not to use your power. And why would you even follow them? I said this Friday. I'm going to say it again. I don't boycott. I change behavior. This is very much like an abusive relationship. I'm going to stay away until XYZ does right. As soon as they do right, I'm coming back. It's not healthy because they're going to go back and do the same thing anyway. When you walk away from an abusive relationship, be it family, friends, or whatever, you walk away. Change your behavior. There are so many other people selling these things. As Miss Elise says, yes, you may be inconvenienced, but if you're really about your values and you really are about what you say you are, then you will stand on that and represent. Your word should be bond. I'm not buying Jack, Target, Walmart, or anybody else. Now, if I can get Mr. Jack to stop shopping at Amazon, Lord bless us. Maybe we can see some change. That's a harder nut to crack, though. It's a harder nut, but I'm working on them.
Like, I understand because I got a little bit of convincing on my side with my husband. It's like, but that cereal costs less down there, and I was like, look, we're gonna have to sacrifice. So we got to figure out what are we willing to sacrifice and change behaviors. Like I'm like Gwendolyn. Once I change, it's like I'm not going back there. And then you're absolutely right. It is like that. It's almost like it's abusive behavior, but it's like Stockholm syndrome, right? I'm gonna keep going back to the one that treats me badly. I'm gonna stay with them. And then you're understanding that the bad treatment is someone who has the audacity to tell you they only started doing it for this reason. And so now we don't feel we have to do that anymore. So we're gonna stop. And then understand, just like anyone else, they'll change long enough to get you back. And they tend to know, and I said this before on here, they tend to know that Black people will come back.
Yes.
We got to screw them wrong, and for anyone that's standing in a line at Target or anything and said, I'm just only buying Black, do not buy Black because you're still paying Target.
Yes.
Every one of those people, whether you're supporting Black businesses, women owned business, every one of those businesses has a website that you can buy directly from them. And then do it that way. Don't go there saying, oh, that's why I'm going, because at the end of the day, that company is getting the bulk of the money.
That's right.
Not that entrepreneur. So really understand, if you want to fully support that entrepreneur, go to their site, buy their stuff. Like a friend of mine's daughters own they actually founded Brown Girl Jane, which is a fragrance line. It's in Sephora and some stores. Well, they also have a website. I can order it directly from Brown Girl Jane without going to any of those places that have them. If that's not what I want to do, I'm still trying to figure out where Sephora actually stands. I love these young ladies because I've known them since they were in elementary school, but I can go right to Brown Girl Jane and
that's the other part of these. You bring up a good point, but you bring up a good point is that if we really want to support these Black businesses, we can truly just get the information and go to their websites.
Right.
Because now they get all of the money versus part of the money.
Yeah, we're doing another party where like Brown Girl Jane, if I pay, I know that when I go to that site and pay that money to them, there's no one taking a percentage. I'll give you an example from my love of art, right? So when I go to the art gallery and purchase a piece of art, that gallery gets anywhere from 20 to 40 to 50% of the sale. But once I establish a relationship with the artist, and I have some relationship with artists, when I buy from them, all of it goes to that artist.
Yes.
They don't have to share that. The only thing they have to do is make sure they pay their taxes that they're required to pay. But the 100% of the proceeds from that purchase goes to that artist. And I learned that over time from visiting galleries and understanding the relationships and talking to artists. That's how it works. Of course, they put them in there because they want their work seen. But I also know that comes at a cost for them. Yeah. And it's the same thing with these entrepreneurs that's in these stores. It comes at a cost, but if you can go directly to their websites and buy it, then that's where you go.
Can I add one more thing?
Okay, wait, before you go there, I want to give a shout out to Anthony Rowland. Rowland sent a super sticker, 20 bucks. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Anthony.
I was, as Miss Elise was saying that, you and I, Ron, we talked about when you do have a smaller business and they are asking people to go to a particular store to purchase their things, their whole idea is I need to get vision on my product.
Right.
If I'm in the store, I have a higher chance of getting somebody who wouldn't notice me to buy my product. Here's the deal. Every single company needs super fans. I don't get paid to talk about Glitz Optical. I just look good in my glasses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't mind bigging up her wherever I am. If you are a fan of a certain business, if you say that you want to support Black businesses, then use your social media network, use whatever you have to have people go to them and buy their product, become their PR team. That's all you have to do. If that's what you really say you're about.
Yes.
And that's what and that brings me back to what I said the last time we were on. We need to use the platform and not let the platform use us.
Yes,
as long as we're in these platforms that also want to get rid of their diversity and equity and inclusion programs, then we need to use it to promote what we believe in, promote the Black businesses, support whatever business you support that you want people to access. That's how we have to start using this platform to get information out and to support other people and do it that way. I think that's the best way to use them and not let them use us.
Oh, I love that. I love that phrasing. Well, there was one thing that happened also during while I was away, and it was obviously the beat down of a president. And that was last Friday, obviously. And it's still trending around the world. And I just want you to see this because this is going to be interesting. I already know we are in a dictatorship.
Yes.
We are in an autocratic dictatorship. This is no longer the democracy.
Right.
However, we are not alone. And the rest of the world is watching. And the rest of the world is acting accordingly. Mm-hmm. After what went down on Friday, the embarrassment, the disgusting behavior of Vance and Trump, it was disgusting. No one on the world, even the worst countries on the planet have never done that kind of thing in public on television a takedown. I compared it as two junkyard dogs attacking a helpless animal. And I'm not calling, I don't mean, this is not called Zelensky an animal,
Because he was
but
far from helpless.
he was by himself. He was invited into their home,
Into the lair,
into their place, and it was disgusting. I couldn't, let me tell you, I wanted to come on live immediately. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go. But I said, let me just rest. Go through the whole weekend, get my brain together, get it together. And I wanted to see what the rest of the world was going to do. And the rest of the world rallied behind Ukraine. So much so that Europe said, well, let me give you what's going on in France. Let me just share this. And this kind of like sums it up. And I wanted to share this before we head out for the day. But this, I think, will give you some, not that this is going to change anything about America. We're in this cycle for who knows how long. It could be 4 years. It could be 14 years. It could be 40 years.
it could be a year.
Or it could be a year. However, check this out. And
It's from a weekly French news magazine, Le Point. The title says, "The Man from Moscow." Below that, the subheadline states, "Putin and Trump, the alliance of predators." It's also important to note that this news magazine has a reputation for being center-right. This is a magazine that tends to support conservative values. In this article, the author goes on to compare Donald Trump's presidency to a geopolitical earthquake, even comparing it to the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. And the author makes a pretty strong stance that Europe as a whole can no longer rely on the United States for security and stability. It then compares the United States' proposed offer of more continued support in exchange for valuable minerals from Ukraine as financial extortion. Article makes it clear you can still believe in self-reliance and strong defense without blindly following one dangerous leader. Even European conservatives are saying this, pushing for independence while still calling out this dangerous alignment between Donald Trump and Putin. US News won't show you this.
so, just so you know, people are watching. And I asked this question when I was at the diner the other day. From what I can see, Trump is an asset to Russia.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
behavior,
Absolutely.
I mean, when you saying you just dropped down all the security from, all the cyber security that goes
Cybersecurity.
and that goes after Russia, and you say, you know what, we're gonna lax those things, and then every single thing you've done has done nothing but everything. Friday's event, that was for Russia.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
That was for Russia, because right after they did that, they created commercials, programming, TV shows. All that stuff was on the air in Russia.
Oh, absolutely.
He is allegedly, from my point of view, as I look at behavior,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's an asset. He's a Russian asset, according to
Absolutely.
his behavior.
Mhm.
Yeah. I believe in that 1987 happened. I believe in that more and more each day. And then for him to take down them to announce today that they are no longer sharing any intelligence with Ukraine.
Yes.
First of all, you're not helping with anything else. You're not funding any weapons, and then you're going to take down the security. But going back to Friday, it didn't work the way they thought it would be.
Yes.
Because remember, they're the ones that set it up so it was televised.
Yes.
And of course, in there, I won't tell you what I said to my husband about the eyeliner wearer. But anyway, Mr. Eyeliner had the audacity to say, "Oh, you want to do this on live TV?" But you put those TV cameras in there. He didn't bring TV cameras.
That's
You
right.
brought a Russian.
That's right.
You brought a Russian news media inside there.
Mhm.
So he didn't do that. You set yourself up for that. And what you did was both of you all attacking him and him being skilled enough to maintain his composure the way he did, you created a hero.
Yes.
You created a climate where your own country people were so upset about that they kept Mr. Eyeliner and his family from going to the resort that he wanted to go to in Vermont, with signs of support and support, not just for him, but for Zelensky in Ukraine, but for other things that's happening in the country. They were out there so much so that they couldn't go there. And then you unify Europe, because Europe understands that they lived through Hitler.
Yeah,
they know what Hitler activities look like, and that's what they see in this. And then for you clearly have to be a Russian operative to say that you say do not collect any data, cyber data on this country. No. Who are you working for? Who's working? And I told you, and Edward Snowden is still there doing whatever he does with information. So we have to look at it that way. And most people, and it's funny because most people were like, wow, he asked him about that suit, and that's what they harped on.
yeah.
I didn't harp on that.
No.
Yes.
I was so excited by his response. He said, I will put on a costume when this war is over.
Yes, I love that,
And
that
never blinked
phrasing.
an eye. Never blinked an eye. Maybe one like that. Maybe one better than that. Maybe one more expensive than that. Maybe one cheaper than that. But after the war.
After the war.
And I think
He's
more
a
people need to
wartime
pay
president.
attention to that. And more people need to pay attention to that. And when he went to see the king in the UK, when he went to greet the king, he was still dressed the same way. And the king said, I'm glad to see you. I was concerned about you. That tells you what you've done.
Horrible on the world stage. And people don't because mega brain folks, they don't have the ability to think beyond their moment or their little seed of thinking. Mega brain people they're just idiots. Mega brain people are just idiots.
I think some of them are being impacted, Ron. I think some of them were impacted.
Well, some of them are turning over. Some of them are getting a little like, oh, they're waking out of a little fog, but they still there, because even some of these people that are complaining about what's going on over the last week, if they had to vote for him again, they still will vote for him.
But yeah, because that's because they can't see past their own biases, their own hatred. They can't see past any of those things for themselves. They still have them convinced that it's about them, and they don't understand that it's not. But one thing I want to say, because she kept talking about the magazine being conservative, we need to understand that we're not talking about conservatives. We're talking about extremists.
These are extremists, yes.
We're dealing with extremist behavior, because all of us have some conservative views on something out there in the world.
Most people are conservative. Yes.
They're extremists.
Most Americans are conservative. Right. Most Americans live in the, they want this simplicity of government. They don't want people in their business. They want to live their lives. Most people are conservative. But this whole thing, though, is the whole Russia thing. Now we can't figure out now there should be a all-out media frenzy of investigative reporters trying to dig into what is it that Putin has on Trump.
He got something good, that's for sure.
He got something good.
It's
something good.
It's some videos and tapes.
Because the thing is, you got this man that has gone against NATO, gone against the G7, gone against the Western Alliance, gone against the North American, what we call it, North American, when they call I forgot what it's called with all three countries, because we're in North America, the North American Treaty. Gone against all of that. And not once. I mean, he went after Zelensky like he was the enemy. And yet, the one that invaded the country, he had nothing bad to say for.
But he invited them in the room. He invited the Russian media in
the room.
Invited
the Russian media in the room.
Yeah, so he was watching it. He was performing for him. He was performing for Putin. Nobody can tell me he wasn't performing for Putin. And like I said, it did not go the way they thought it was going to go. They thought that if they double teamed him, that they would be able to break him. And he only dug in deeper. He said, and I like what he said later on. He said, I am not going to say I'm going to give you the resources and land that belong to the people.
Yes.
He said, that's the people's land. And so
it's not
we
his
have
to give.
Yeah, and definitely this is about Russia and how much Russia controls the United States, because what other president of this country would have said, we're no longer going to look at if there are any cyber attacks from Russia. We're not going to monitor any of that. We're not going to investigate anything. Who else would do that? And just leave America's grid unprotected.
Mm-hmm.
We have to remember that. So that means that everything about us can be breached and we know nothing. And I don't know.
And on top of that is because, again, going back to the vote that was held in the United Nations in favor of Ukraine versus those that were against, you had all the countries on the side of Ukraine, but you had the United States standing against its allies and joining the side of Russia at the United Nations vote.
Is that not something from the Twilight Zone?
It's from the Twilight Zone.
I was like, what world? And control.
But on top of that, and we're going to unfold tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about because guys, you are going to have to think about what happens if America is attacked. And I know that sounds like, I don't think it can happen. America's great. But guess what? What Trump did on Friday has made us all vulnerable. We will no longer get secrets, intelligence from Europeans, from all the other nations, because they can't trust this administration.
Nope.
So now we are more vulnerable than we've ever been. You think 9/11 was bad? Something will be coming along a way that will not be so good, and we are all going to suffer for it. So now we have to start thinking. I see some of the YouTubers out there, some of the folks in TikTok land and Instagram are starting to talk about survival. What happens when the electric goes down? What happens when there's some situation where there's no more electronics? What will you do with no devices? What will you do, as in, how are you preparing in your house to stock up? Do you have canned foods that are going to last you? Do you have money stashed somewhere in your house? Because when the banking system goes down, because the cyber attack has happened and you cannot get your money. We have to start thinking in this way, because we are more vulnerable than we've ever been. Because remember, everything's connected cyberspace, technology, electronics. And when that stuff goes down, society could be put back into the Stone Ages by just getting rid of all of that stuff.
And I think, Ron,
and it don't take much to get rid of it either.
Right. And I think, Ron, you mentioning that is why people have to understand, because most people would say, oh, America be attacked, who's going to do that? They're thinking about weapons that standard stuff, like back in the day. They're not thinking about the way they're really going to come for you is through cyber side, through the internet. They're going to come.
They're not coming on the shores.
They're going to mess with everything.
They're not coming on the shores. It's not going to be a bunch of submarines and battleships coming at the shores. Maybe later after. But the first initiative is cyber warfare.
That's exactly where it's coming. And my thing is, when you take down your own protection and say, hey, Russia, have at it. Have at my people. Not just the world, but at my people.
Yes.
That's what he's giving them permission. That's what they're giving permission to do. And so you do have to make sure you're protected. You don't know what people are doing out there in the cyber world. And so you got to have those protections in there, and they're coming for you. And then so much of what's going to happen, well, we have to be careful as citizens, and this is just all citizens.
Yes.
Is that we have got to understand that the way they become successful is to have us fight each other.
Yep.
Have us at each other.
Yep.
So there's going to be the cyber stuff, and there's going to be the pressure for us internally to attack each other. And that's the part that we also have to pay attention to. You know, we have to decide, what is it that we're going to discuss? What are we going to do, and how are we going to do it? I'm not having arguments with people over this man. I'm not. I refuse to have arguments, but that I just want to know what we're going to do, because every time we allow ourselves to be distracted, we don't face the realities of what's coming, right?
Yes.
We're not facing the realities of, will there be access to bank accounts? Which I always told my children, I don't care what's going on. Make sure you got cash somewhere in the house. You know, I got $20, so $20 not going to get you anything.
Yes.
Because once you don't have access, and they know you don't have access, nothing's going to be $20. Those eggs, that's going to be one egg. So we got to understand what that looks like and what that means to us, and how we're going to handle that, and how how much we decide to share online. We're going to have to also monitor that ourselves, and then understand that what they're saying is a bunch of garbage. They monitor everything that's not pro him. They monitor it. They're paying close attention to it, and they're taking people's videos down. They're doing all kinds of stuff, even though they say they wouldn't, but they are. They're taking down the truth more than they're taking down lies. I put it that way.
There you go.
So what are we gonna do? We gotta figure that out, but embrace the fact that it's coming, and it's not about Mexico lobbing bombs and Canada, and that's not how it's coming. Canada can start a lot of pressure when you're in the dark in New York, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
That's right.
If you sit in the dark, and that man said, let's do it all through all the provinces.
He said, we're going to use all the provinces.
Yeah.
He said, I want the other provinces to join me.
So, and then gas, there's a pipeline that comes through there.
That's right.
There's a lot of things so your gas prices will go up. You got so many things that you don't think about. And it's definitely about the Putins of the world.
Yes.
He definitely somehow, whatever Putin, I still believe he has videos and tapes out there.
Gotta be, right?
He has them, and he's threatened to play them. And so, because, we working with we still working with the KGB. You're still working with that.
They're still there. They're still out
there.
there.
I believe that that's a part of it. And more will be revealed, because the more they tend to tell you what we're not going to do against Russia, neglecting the other allies, and then, the little, the pseudo president out there saying, let's get out of NATO and the UN.
Yes. Well,
I
guys,
didn't want to call him a muskrat, but
we're going to have to wrap it up. But again, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Tomorrow's Trend Watch Thursday. If you are in the building, make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. If it should be even a number. Likes. So that way, the Amazon algorithms know that we have a great community that is interacting. Okay, so, but this is not to be what you call conspiracy theorists and all that stuff. But no, this is reality. And we cannot put our heads in the sand, and we can't act like it can't happen. No one saw 9/11 coming, and it came. No one saw McVeigh with Oklahoma
City, right?
No one saw it coming. And these things happen with people not seeing it coming. And so therefore we have to be smart and aware. We don't have to run around in fear and be like, oh my gosh, like, chicken little, the sky is falling. But you need to be aware of what could happen. And you need to be prepared, at least for the basics: food, shelter, money, cash on hand. So think about it. We'll talk more about it tomorrow.
Let me say something funny, though. For the last few days I've gone to the grocery store, I swear there's more water in those grocery stores that I've seen in the last month. It's like tons and tons of water.
Because everything else is off the shelf.
It's like they stocked it up because somebody said you better have some water. I don't know.
I got my extra water in my house, and I'm gonna go get some more. I'm going for my eggs today. Get my little extra batch of eggs. I'm going back to Trader Joe's and say, "Where's my eggs?"
That's funny.
So, guys, thank you for joining us today. I hope this inspires you. I hope it. I mean, again, it's not part of it is to tell you should have some fear because fear motivates, but at the same time, you should have some fear because it brings awareness. But at the same time, know that you're going to make it if you educate yourself and be strong. And so
Gwendolyn says not fear.
I ain't worried about. I ain't thinking about Gwendolyn's face.
You can't have faith and fear. You can't have both.
Yeah, but faith is a motivator. Fear is a motivator.
You can have faith. Fear doesn't have to be a motivator.
It can be.
What? We are closing this show. I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it.
And that's the great part about we don't always agree.
I will bring that sermon tomorrow, sir.
Yes. You say you did it tomorrow, Gwendolyn? Reality. We're going to base everything in reality. Believe what you see.
No, sir.
Look, believe what you see.
Believe what you see.
And act accordingly.
Act accordingly. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. It is Hump Wednesday. It is that day. And so get out there and do something special for yourself. I always say the middle of the week is when you take a break and do something for you. So do something good for yourself today. Just a moment. Just get a moment in for you. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you, Elise. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I love you guys. I love you. Thank you guys for thank you for the super stickers for those that sent some money this way. That was great. Wow, that was a surprise. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Anthony and Lisa. And hey, Derek, you late, brother. Love you, Derek. Okay, guys, we're out of here. See you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We're out of here. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.